Okay, I think that everyone that was in the waiting room, I admitted. So if someone joins later, I will just continue to admit and we can start. So hi everyone, I'm Zorica Velkovska. I'm co-founder of the Center for Social Innovations Blink 4221, one of the partners implementing the project Digimedia for Youth. Together with me is today Mariana from the DCN Global, another partner from this project. So we are going to handle this this training module today. And I think most of you already know the procedure. You know what we are going to do. We will have two lectures today, like two presentations. One that will be done by Mariana. She will talk about social media campaigns and digital campaigns in general for civic engagement. And I will later talk about, in general, digital engagement, civic engagement in digital era. And I will show some cases that were implemented in Macedonia, in the region. And on the end, we will wrap up with some tasks and technical information regarding the approaching media school in Thessaloniki that you should register. So at the end, we will have a Q&A session and we will give you some relevant information, what are the next steps and how you can register for TISM. So I will not take more time. I will just say welcome to Mariana. Thank you for joining us today. And
hey all.
The screen is yours.
The screen is mine. Let me share my screen. Hi all, I'm Mariana. I'm the Communications Director of DCN Global. I am working as a journalist and as a copywriter. And I'm super happy and excited to be here with you because social media campaigns and their implementation is one of my favorite topics and one of my favorite trainings. First of all, I would like to share with you my favorite motto from Maya Angelou is that people, that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. It's one of my guidelines, let's say. Every time that I'm thinking of a new social media campaign or for every content creation and content strategy. So today we will discuss what is a social media campaign, what is a social media campaign good for, some steps of designing and implementing a social media campaign, and I will share with you some of my favorite case studies in order to understand finally what makes a campaign effective and what we can do, how. So during this tremendous, I would say, era of COVID, we have learned some things that they are very useful in our work. How important it is to give back to the community, how important it is to stay positive, and of course, the role of going digital. Let's start with what is a social media campaign. Here is a definition. A social media campaign is a series of coordinated activities with the aim to achieve or to assist a very specific goal over a very specific set period of time with outcomes that we can track and measure. So we have a very specific goal, a very specific set period, and of course, an outcome that we can track and measure. It can be limited in only one network, social media network, for example, or we can implement a campaign across multiple social media platforms. And of course, we will see together some examples of social media campaigns that is a combination of campaigns on traditional media with some offline actions. I have some case studies in order to see this difference. If we can use, for example, a single network campaign, this is the distance dance campaign from Procter and Gamble. They are some. It was during COVID. The goal was to conceive people to stay at home, and they used the TikTok celebrity Charli D'Amelio. What we can learn from this campaign is that we will have to check our target audience, if our target audience, and which is the most popular social media network for this target audience. In this example, we have a young generation Z. So in this case, they use TikTok because it's very popular to these ages. They use a challenge, a very successful and popular technique on TikTok, and they use also a very famous influencer on TikTok, Charli D'Amelio, in order to have all this success. Another example of multiple now social media platforms is the campaign that Spotify does every single year. They use Spotify, obviously, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. What they did every December, they share some customized data for your preferences, which was were the songs that you listened more, who was your favorite artist, and things like that. And we can see from this that I'm sorry, I see something. Okay. I see on the chat. Yes, as Zoritsa says, feel free to interrupt me. If you have a Q&A question, or write it on the chat and we will get back to you. And this was a personalized data, for example, and all of us love to see some customized data from our everyday life. And we can see a hint here is that we can recycle some things that we have seen that it really worked in another way or with another strategy. And here is a combination with traditional media. Let me stop sharing my screen in order to share this video. Can you listen to it, right?
Gemma Miller? Gemma Miller, please come to room 4. Hello? Hello, am I talking to Gemma? Hey, Dad. Hey. Carol, you remember my Gemma? And what's your name? It's James. James?
Let me go back again. action. So what we have watched, it was a What's Your Name campaign of Starbucks, and they use traditional advertising, TV commercial, but they also spread the content on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and other platforms. They have partnered with Mermaids, an organization that supports transgender and gender diverse youth. They use a very spot and clear message. It's an everyday practice to write their name at the cup on Starbucks, and they used this one in order to promote their message. And we can see that a TV spot with can create a buzz on social media as well. And here I have another case study of an offline action. It is a flash mob during from International Peace Journalism Laboratory. They partnered with a youth orchestra in Thessaloniki in order to create an awareness about European elections. Now, I think that you cannot see my screen. Let's do it again. This is a very famous shopping mall in Thessaloniki. So what we have seen, we can see that we can use actually an offline activity, an offline action like this one. Let me share my screen. We can share an offline action and a flash mob, for example, like this, for a new spread on social media in order to distribute it on social media, which is also a very common practice. Let me share it. It's a common practice, and we can see that this let's say repurpose marketing, it also works, and we can use every single action that we do as an organization, for example, in order to have more buzz on social media. And here I have one of my favorite examples during COVID. It's not a real campaign. It is the exercise of two students school, and they use actually some spoilers, creating these billboards in order to say that if you stay home, you will not see the spoilers of your favorite sitcoms on Netflix. I would like you to write on the chat what was your favorite campaign? Procter & Gamble, Spotify, Starbucks, the flash mob from International Peace Journalism Laboratory, or of course the Netflix fake campaign. And now we will see what is a social media campaign good for. A social media campaign, as we said, is an organized marketing effort in order to increase people awareness, interest, and of course, loyalty to an organization or to a brand or product or even service. Uh, there are a lot of differences between our everyday social media efforts from the campaigns, because every campaign has a very specific target, a very specific goal, and of course we need to measure and track it. Social media campaign is good for brand awareness, engagement, raise awareness of an issue, and of course fundraising. I have here some examples of campaigns for each of these objective, like brand awareness. We can see the shot on iPhone hashtag of iPhone in order to create this buzz on social media, on Instagram especially. And actually what they do, they called people to share the hashtag shot on iPhone on Instagram in order to encourage this user-generated content. And of course, user-generated content is a very good tactic if you want to enhance your social proof, to have great content from your community. And we see that this user-generated content works better and the engagement is also better organically, I mean, for your specific objectives. Of course, another big goal for the campaigns is engagement. Of course, we all need to improve our engagement on social media, and this is a very good metric and, of course, a social media goal. And here I have one of my favorite example, again, during COVID lockdown era. It's Getty Museum. They called people to send photos in order to recreate famous paintings while staying at home. And all the users on Twitter, on Facebook, they send and they share on their social media some examples of their home art. We can see here one example. And this campaign went viral, and it was very easy but very inspiring, and it is based on user-generated content. Another campaign is raising awareness from Dove. It was the project Show Us. They wanted to express that all the women are not represented on media and advertising, so they partnered with Getty Images photo library in order to create a new photo library with user-generated content, and this campaign has gone also viral. At this moment, we can, let's say, have some key takeaways. It's good to voice our values when we do a social media campaign, because social media are all about this personal connection. And of course, if we are dealing with some topics that such as political statements or other controversial topics, we have to choose our battles, and this becomes from the whole communication strategy. And of course, we need to show that we care. If you are authentic and genuine on your movements and your actions on social media, this is a good example of engagement and empower your community. Another example is fundraising from Charity Water. What they do every September, they send a newsletter to those who have their birthday month, and they call them to feel free to in order not to have gifts, but to send some money to this charity. And it's good because every year the partners receive this email. There is a loyalty, there is something that is a pledge, and of course it's a good way to create your ambassadors, let's say, your the people that they will also distribute and talk about you. Again, I would like to share on chat which was your favorite tactic, let's say, or campaign, either iPhone, Getty Images, Getty Museum, Dove, or Charity Water. And some key takeaways from here is to find this authentic voice. We are talking a lot on communication topics that we need our tone of voice. We have to decide as an organization which is our tone of voice. Is it personal? Is it more corporate? Is impersonal? We need to be formal. If we want to communicate values, commitments, we have to create a personal tone of voice, which works better, of course. And another key takeaway, which is for sure, if you are in charge of social media or for every communication strategy, you have to continually develop creative content. I know that it's not easy. It's time consuming, and of course it costs money, but we need to keep in mind to be creative and to find an authentic, let's say, way to communicate and to connect with our community. And of course, if we have an engaged and a dedicated community, it's good to start involve our audience in these campaigns, in these messages, and now I will continue with NGOs' social media campaigns in order to highlight some case studies and see what they did and what we can take as an inspiration from these campaigns. One of my favorites is this one, Love Has No Labels. I will share with you the video. Let me switch.
doesn't see race. Love has no age limit.
That's my best friend.
We are neighbors and best friends.
We all have different religions, but we have universal love as well.
I love my sister.
Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
Let me share again the screen. So this movement was about to promote acceptance and inclusion. It was an organization and this organization works with NGO partners such as Human Rights Campaign. And of course, this video used again this user-generated content and the stories of these people that we have seen, and it went viral, and of course it creates a great buzz also on traditional media because it was a campaign that was very successful, and also traditional media talked about this campaign. So we need to be a little bit creative or think smart if we can create a viral video, if it is possible, in order to have more media coverage from traditional media and so on. Another campaign from Movember movement is Unmute/Ask Him. The Unmute campaign consisted of 3 subtitle videos, and they show a man. We know that we understand that it is something like a tutorial, a how-to series. But when we unmute the video, we can hear, we can listen their thoughts. And this metaphor here is both in order to show that maybe men also struggle with mental health issues, but they stay silent and they don't talk about that. Let's see the video in order to understand this metaphor better.
I'm glad we're going on this fishing trip.
Let me.
There's something on my mind.
Okay, I will play it again.
I'm glad we're going on this fishing trip. There's something on my mind. Things aren't great at home. It's made me feel kind of empty. I can't work out how to get through it and turn things around. I know this is awkward, but I think I might need your help. I've been hoping I'll just snap out of it, but I can't seem to get myself on track.
We see that the subtitles are different of what the man is saying. And this is a very good example of how we can use metaphors or to be as more creative as possible. And of course, Me Too movement it was a big hit in US, and we have also in Greece our Me Too moment last year. And we can see how powerful can be a hashtag, which it's simple and of course very impactful, and inspire other people to use it and to share their stories. Earth Hour also is a very good example of a social media campaign from NGO. They do it every single year. They have these limited frames, and of course they inspire people to become a member of a global cause. And we can learn here that if we set a time limit for our social media campaign and use words like now, do it now, it's important, it's super urgent, most of the times it works. And here is another very impactful campaign from Save the Children. It's about a Western child in the situation of a child that lives far off a war zone. And let's see it. Let's watch it. Let me share it.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Granny.
Hello. Have you done your homework? Ready or not? Here it comes.
Violent clashes with
High ammunition against
airstrikes on rebel positions.
We are going to stay.
This video was one of the most impactful video campaign of Save Children. And they use all these narratives of personal story, which always is shocking for all of us. And if you can create this emotional narrative, according to the topic, of course, it for sure works and creates impact. And here is another example for about fighting disinformation. Globsec is a think tank in Bratislava, and what they did, they create a campaign using two very famous YouTubers. What they did, they start arguing during their videos, saying that one of the guy said some lies, and they create a buzz. And after that, they revealed that nothing happens. We have to double check our sources and what we see and what we consume on social media and on internet in general, in order to raise awareness about disinformation and fact-checking on this young audience. Let's see the video.
Čaute, exoti, moje meno je Exploited. Dobrý deň.
Exploited and Selassie, two top Slovak YouTubers, unleashed a controversy based on false information.
On Selassie na streame hovorí, že čo sa ja serem do streamovania. Plážo, prosím, môžem byť s vami v tom videu? Tak si povedal, že chce do videa slona.
They showed what a single piece of unverified information can do. The hate-filled videos were pushed by fans to the top of YouTube's trending page for Slovakia. The YouTubers released joint videos revealing that the hateful videos were for a good cause. And in the end, they provided a valuable lesson.
Ty si na mňa povedal niečo na streame a ty si to neoveril. Či som to reálne na teba povedal. A dospeli sme až k tomu, že nám fanúšici prajú smrť.
They gave easy tips on how to identify information on the internet.
Keď čítate nejaký článok, otvorte si link, na ktorom je ten článok, kúknite si, kto je autor toho článku, či vôbec ten človek existuje.
Thousands of young people admitted they were wrong and promised that they will fact-check stuff they read online.
Viete, že čo bola pointa toho celého? Áno, aby ľudia nedoverovali všetkému, čo sa na internete dozvedia.
Aby v podstate ľudia neverili všetkému a tak.
Videos depicting the positive messages of the campaign had more views than the hateful videos themselves. Will you fact-check it?
So here we can see how powerful could be an influencer campaign if we choose the right influencers on the right concept for this, and we can make a difference even if the topic is not so popular during a young generation, for example. And I will share with you another example of something totally out of the box. I will share it right away in order not to...
Facebook, 24 million members in France, posting day after day all the details of their peaceful lives. Now, imagine if Facebook had existed a century ago. More than a brand page, a personal profile, introducing Léon Vivien, a 29-year-old ordinary man, a school teacher who was exempted from service in August 1914. His best friend is suddenly sent to war and killed in October. Leon is finally drafted and torn away from his pregnant wife, Madeline. 5 months of military training, from life in the barracks to outdoor maneuvers, before being sent to the front in April 1915.
It's been announced. Tomorrow, we're going to the front.
You could share Leon's thoughts.
I can't help thinking about the people who lived here. Children were born here. Their cries filled the house. Their laughter echoed. And no one will climb that staircase again to comfort them at the end of the day.
You could share his little moments of joy and the constant fear of his daily nightmare.
Our horizon? Corpses and mud. A viscous mud. So cold that the living, through so much trembling, almost envy the dead.
Hundreds of posts, 10 characters, one destiny, all with the same question in mind. Will Leon see his family again? 1 year of history, told as a human story, richly illustrated by the museum's collection. 10 months of posts uploaded for the launch, plus 2 months of live posts every day. 3 million euros of earned media, all for the cost of 400 printed invitations to the press conference, 250 euros. 50,000 followers within the first 2 weeks. Thousands of comments. Hundreds of questions answered by the museum. At the end, people were invited to learn more about the millions of Leons and Madelines who endured World War I by visiting the museum. The number of visitors on location increased by 45%. The page was relayed by the National Board of Education. More than an ad campaign, a way to bring awareness to young generations.
Again, we have seen something out of the box and something that it was very impactful because they create, when we have a very difficult topic or a very, let's say, unpopular topic, the main, always the challenge is how to make it better for young people, for attractive for young people. So this example was super cool because they show how they humanize actually the history, and also this human perspective on things that we create and design. It's super important because we need to connect, especially in this, I would say, after. And now we will see the steps of designing and implementing a social media campaign. Of course, is to understand the goal of the campaign. We need to brainstorm and to choose a very specific goal, what we want for our social media account or for our organization. And of course, what we want the user to do. We want to share our messages. We want to have a call to action to drive them at our website, for example. If we are specific, it's most possible to create content that it is targeted and it is successful. Of course, we have to decide how to promote the campaign on its channel. It's good to create different segments, let's say, of campaign in order to be compliant on every social media platform. For example, if we are talking about Instagram, if we are talking about TikTok, we need to create something that it is well fitted in this social network. And I have some brainstorm questions. I will share with you the presentation after the training. And of course, you can brainstorm and write down your thinking. And of course, it's good to create a content calendar to plan all the campaign. If we have a launch on a World Day, for example, and how we build this calendar day by day, how many posts, when, why, and all this strategy. And of course, the next step is to create this visual content. We know that it's also important with text as well, but we have to think about if we will use a main visual, for example, or a video or something like that. I have here some tools in order to some free photo libraries that you can have them in mind and explore them in order to use some photos, and more libraries for photos and vectors, graphic tools like Canva. If you use it already, you know that it is very useful. And of course, for videos, we must not forget stories and their rules, because it's super important. And we see that this ephemeral format now, it also works very well. I have some tools for stories animation in order to create animated short videos. Please write down, share on chat which tools do you use for everyday content creation, if you use one. And of course, you can schedule your posts. You can do it. There are tools like Hootsuite that you can schedule your posts on every single social media account. If you use Facebook and Instagram, you can use Business Suite and or the Creator if it works. There are a lot of days that it doesn't work. And of course, when we implement all these steps, we need to be there again and again We have to monitor, to respond, to check what happens, the comments, to reply, and to follow up after the campaign, to tell to our community what we did, why we did it, how it went, and to analyze and adjust. Of course, the insights that we have, for example, from social media or from our website, from Google Analytics, we can check them, check what worked, what it didn't work, and how we can adjust for our next campaign. Actually, this is an ongoing process. There is no a rule for every action that we do. So we need to try to experiment and, of course, to adjust. And, of course, the key word here is consistency and trying and exploring things on social media. And here I have some common elements of what we have watched. Successful social media campaigns are focused, are true to our brand identity. They are unique to each platform. They are timely. They have a very certain period of time. They are trackable, emotional, and original. And I have, again, some keys how to create successful campaigns. Appeal to emotions, include other communication channels if it is possible, collaborate with influencers in order to gain more visibility and address new communities, use a positive approach if it is possible according to the message, empathize with citizens in order to get them involved in this cause, and for that Zorica will tell us more how we can do it. It's good to do not lose sight of social networks. Be there and do your best. I will share again my presentation after we will have a follow-up. These are my social media accounts and my Gmail. Feel free to send me if you have any question, if you have an idea or a thought. So Zorica, now you have to tell us how to empathize with the citizens, what we can do for civic engagement.
Thank you, Mariana. And thank you everyone for contributing during the session and writing feedback and everything. We'll have a short Q&A. I will try to go fast. And I think that Mariana took all the aspects what you can do through the social media campaigns, different type of campaigns with different goals, targets, and tools. I want to talk a little bit more about the process from the other side. That means who participates and how these people are engaged in these campaigns, because at the end, we as citizens and professionals in different areas working every day, we need to participate, or we are exposed to these campaigns on every day, social media and other media outlets. So shortly, I will try to. So shortly for myself, I'm co-founder of the Center for Social Innovations, Blink 4221. I work also as a project and product manager there. I have over 13 years working experience in different, very different types of organizations, from the government to the international organizations, business, and now NGOs. I'm also team member of this Digital Communication Network, DCN Global. Blink is a social tech organization. We design and scale innovative solutions for social challenges. That means that mostly all of the products that we developed are for someone else. The beneficiaries are either citizens, either public institutions, municipalities, cultural institutions, educational institutions, etc., etc. We are focused on innovation because we connect different people dedicated to the idea that the social innovation could lead to economic, educational, and cultural change. And Of course, we work with technology. We challenge the creative sector. We actually collaborate on all of the project with creative sector to develop digital tools and audiovisual products that use smart use of data and technology. We have a mission that are focusing on three things. One is empowering citizens and public institutions. Another is focusing to making studying great again, to education. And the last one is to accessibility of culture. We create cultural experience through using the power of emerging technologies and innovation. But not all of our products, all of our projects are actually supported or have campaigns on social media, through traditional media and offline, as Mariana mentioned, so they can be visible. We as NGO, we are also focusing how other NGOs, how other beneficiaries that are doing social things can be visible in their communities, in their cities, national, regional, or even global ways. So by using the power of good campaign and good communication strategies. So Mariana actually presented all categories of digital activism, of campaigning. They are categorized in some 5 topics, but actually, do you see the presentation? You see, I hope you see. Okay, yes, great. Yes. So in generally, we have advocacy and political campaigns. We have recruitment and movement building campaigns. We have organization and coordination campaigns. Online direction, action, hacktivism, and civil disobedience is very now active, present. Research and documentation. But what are the questions that we are concerned as organization, but also I think we should be concerned as active citizens? How can digital technologies encourage greater engagement in civil society? That's by developing digital tools. And the second, how can civic engagement make social change in this era? And that means what kind of impact we can make through our work. So we also, Mariana presented different ways of how these campaigns are implemented. Some are through the social medias, the smartphones and the apps that are available on Play Store and App Store are actually one of the also tool to do it. We have digital media outlets that where we have blogs, we have web advertisements and everything. We have crowdfunding platforms, which are actually campaigns by themselves, online petitions, etc., etc. So feel free to add if something else you are using. What I want to think and what I want you to think at the end of this session is how digital tools expand the context of civic life and motivations to engagement, and what participating in civic life looks like in a digital era. What's changed, because whatever we are doing, we want to engage the community, the peers, the wider public, specific target group or beneficiaries. We need to see what kind of tools we can apply, what kind of communication tools we can apply, and what kind of content we can create, and how we can reach these target groups today. So there are a lot of questions that are actually fulfilling the content for our campaigns. When we want to engage someone in our campaigns, we always need to ask why we are engaging. And that responds to the goal of the campaign, which was the first step that Mariana mentioned. Who we engage is the target group that we want. There is no general public as a target group. It's too wide. Today, everything that we are doing has a specific target group. Doesn't matter if it's 300 people, 3,000, 30,000, 3 million. We know to define who we want to be directly exposed by our content and our work or the movement that we want to do, etc., etc. In the end, we need to respond how we are going to engage. Are we going to do social media campaigns, offline campaigns, combination of both? Are we going to use someone else's event to put some topic, or are we going to use our brand to address a social issue like the Starbucks that you all like it? They used a very specific social issue that, and some of you wrote, we were not aware that Starbucks is behind that. So that's very powerful and tricky. So what's the social change today that we want to meet? Because it's one side to be engaged, it's completely other thing to participate in something. Not only being engaged and putting likes and sharing comments. To participate means you should go to that flash mob in the Thessaloniki Mall, because you identify with the things that are happening there, or you're just passing by there and you stop and you watch. You participate in that event, which is completely different too, because you don't participate only if you put likes, but if you are today on this training, then you are participating in the actions that we are exposing to. And besides, I don't want to mention the democratic politics and civic political engagement now, which is completely different. But yes, I want you to think, can social media engage? And can even games engage? Or can applications that we develop engage? What's the level of interaction that it's needed for someone to create a campaign to social media, to create a game, and to create offline campaign, and what's all these steps that Mariana mentioned when you are going to do it. What was our motivation when we started this organization? It was one simple fact. We found out, this is from 2019, that in 2019, 8.8% of the young people, that's less 35 years, so probably 18 to 35, have real interest to engage with their local communities. Doesn't matter if it's something election, is it a cultural event, is it a sport event, their level of interest, it's 8.8. And from other side, 89% of the citizens never participate in any consultation with public institution. They never went to buy even a ticket in a theater, which is completely shocking for a society today, when we are exposed on so many things and when we receive information about happenings very easier. You know, in the past, you imagine in 1914, someone needs to send you by post a letter that will travel for 15, 14, 30 days upfront for something for you to participate or to be engaged. Today, it's only seconds, and this percentage is so low. So we, as an organization, we said, why is this and why is this happening when all of us has a smartphone? All of us receive push notifications. We are following so many things, being aware or not aware. Sometimes we are not aware that we are following stupid pages that are giving just fun content, like alligator was kicked by a 6-year-old boy in the face. So, and we are following and putting like and sharing, and we are not aware that it's my 500 friends to those 500 friends, those 500 friends, and that's 25 million at the end. So why is this? And we as an organization, we said, let's create tools that can increase this engagement. Let's select in which areas, but let's start. So our first, maybe for us very dear thing, is that we create this app. It's called M-Community. Someone from you in Macedonia maybe can recognize. M-Community is a mobile and web application that empowers citizens and local governments to engage and create their best community. It's actually mobile and app, has a administrative panel for the municipality, and collects data, not personal data that it's when we're talking about data nowadays, we are only thinking about emails, addresses, and names. No, it collects data of what the people are reporting, what the people are interested, what kind of problems people are having, where are these problems are happening. So the municipalities and the decision makers can say, okay, if we have the light problem on these 5 streets every week, then we have a bigger problem and we need to discuss why this is happening there. So M-Community, it's app that it's available for municipalities in Macedonia. You can report a problem, solution. You can see what the others people are doing. It's like a social network for municipalities. You can apply for subsidies, like for bikes or for financial aid. You can be informed. You have push notifications for the topics and categories that you are interested in, etc. So M communities are now available in 7 municipalities in Macedonia. We have over 4,000 users only on the mobile. We don't know how many we have on the website. We have over 3,500 actions. That means 3,500 people report something in this 6 months in 2020. And it's interesting that the response rate of the municipality is pretty high. Previously, our problem was that we are addressing something to the municipality, but we never receive a feedback. And we are thinking that the social media is a place where you need to communicate it real issues with the municipality. No, because you don't know from 10,000 people arguing on posts, mostly on political content, you cannot see the real value of a question that some citizens address or a problem that addressed. So here on the app, it's so narrowed because you can only communicate it on the problem or the action that it's submitted to the municipality. You cannot tag friends and argue with them or with the mayor. So it shows that if you are communicating right, the response rate can go higher and higher. Of course, this is supported with a social media campaign, offline actions. We are promoting the app in every city. We are helping and writing offline materials, how you can download. We are writing articles. Every day on social media, we are sharing how you can use the app, what's the impact that you can do, etc., etc. So nothing from this tool can be used as we want, or people can be engaged if we are not communicating through the media, if we are not creating campaigns about how engagement is supported, how you can be engaged, how your problem that was reported in the app made a change for your community. Because there are really constructive proposals that actually municipality accepted and they are done. And that's your impact in the community. It's not municipality, because you as a citizen were the one who initiated it. So this is one of the ways how you can engage the citizens on topics that are important and are present in your society. And topics are, we are very narrowed when we are saying, oh, this is politics, I don't want to think. This is not politics. Culture, and what's happening. And if you don't have a cinema in a municipality with 200,000 citizens, you should be worried why you don't have cinema. You should push your local government that you need to have a cinema. You need to have a swimming pool because you have 250,000 citizens. You need to have a library. You need to have, dog parks, etc., etc. That's politics. You are creating politics by making visible actions that the local government that it's elected needs to fulfill for the citizens. And by using the social media, whatever you reported through the app, again, if you share through social media, every one of your friends can support your action or your problem, instead putting likes on the alligator video. So it's important when we want to make an impact and social change to think what we can do, what kind of tool to engage or to give options to participate, but also how we are going to communicate. You must have a strategy, how we are going to communicate the tool, how this tool can be visible to the relevant target groups. So trust me, the social media campaign for M community, it's completely different when we want to address the youngsters, the people 18 plus, when we want to address the older people that are over 60, and how we want to address the 40, 50 years old people. So you narrow your messages and content. As Mariana mentioned, you develop different types of content when you want to address, and all the messages are leading to one tool, but they're all completely different. This is another thing that we created. It's a video campaign. It's a storytelling campaign. It's called Zdravo za gotovo, which is a word very used not only in Macedonia, generally in the Slavic language in the Balkans, which means taking something for granted. And it's a video social media storytelling campaign where we had 2 seasons. The first season was about fake news that shows how the news are created and strategies, and how is misleading you in relevant times on the relevant happenings in the country, etc., etc. And the second season was about anti-corruption and tolerance of the citizens to any kind of corruption and general violation of rule of law. So besides the videos that were created on social media, we created various different content to support them. So we created a separate campaigns that were supporting the videos for different target groups. So for the ones that are working in the administration, we created the hashtag job done. Probably završiv rabota, job done is the most suitable translation, where we force citizens to present cases where they actually finish their job in the local or in any administration in the country. Because and it was, I must admit, it was a viral, because this is the core of corruption, this petty corruption, when you're asking and trying to find a friend to let's say go and take a new passport. You have appointment and you need it tomorrow. Why to wait till Wednesday? I need it till Monday. Why should I call the line? And actually you are not aware that if you call, that you maybe will receive appointment on Monday. You don't think about that. You just try to find a friend because you need it on Monday. So we actually promote that people who finish job like this, and it went viral and showed that if we are using the system right, instead of making bad of the system, that it can be just functional, that it's fine, that we as people are the one who are making the mess by thinking that we need to find someone from a previous experience. For the business sector, we created Learn the Language, because we created messages telling that, the business cannot wait, or let's share the deal, or how much we need to pay so you can give us the document till tomorrow, etc., etc. And then for the youngsters, we created the Corruptioner, who wants to be a corruptioner. So it's a quiz, it's like completely like Millionaire, and you can play it and you're responding on 4 questions exactly like a millionaire in a real life situations, how you're going to do some things. And you're actually seeing the consequences when you will receive appointment for passport on Monday and all the people on Monday are postponed to Tuesday. So it's a wave that goes, that whenever you are doing your right with corruption, you are actually taking the right to someone else. So we are not aware where we are doing, but we are aware that someone else is doing to us. So these were all tools used only for one goal. We as organization to increase the level of awareness how corruptive as a citizens every day we are. We were not talking about the corruption deals that are happening in the governments, in the court. We are talking about the core of corruption in every one of us. So yes, we create so many different things, different content that was giving a very direct messages for corruption, and I must admit it was very effective. The last but the least, not the least, but for today, is the European Film Challenge. At the beginning, you think it's something, I don't know, nice content on social media, but the European Film Challenge is actually a very effective campaign by the core. Doesn't matter that it's a challenge for you to participate in and watching films and going receiving award. The core of the campaign the core of the project European Film Challenge is actually a campaign on digital campaign, and it's film literacy. The fact that you will participate in the challenge, you will know 10 European films that in general you don't know them, because most of us watch blockbusters from Hollywood and everything. So it's a film literacy and audience engagement tool. We are doing for 2 years, and we will continue to do the next year. It's very simple. Give the leading role to the audience, and the audience will become a leader. You watch 10 European films in 10 weeks, and you receive a ticket to Cannes, Venice, or Berlin. So at the beginning, when we started, there were a lot of reactions on social media. People said, it's easy. People will jeopardize the fact, because I need to put a photo. I will just put the first photo on Netflix, and I'm not going to watch the film. But they don't understand the point of this project. We don't care if you watch the film. The fact that you will put on your profile 10 European films. You will Google to find 10 European films. You will go on Netflix, HBO, and everyone to see, do you have 10 European films to put it on your profile so you can play in the challenge? It's the goal over the goal, because you will know new 10 European films. That means that we, through the challenge, educated you about European films. You will see European actors, maybe from the region, maybe from your country. You will actually, it was very funny. We had a premiere of a Macedonian film, and one person wrote, "Is this film eligible for the challenge?" Said, "Why Macedonian film is not eligible? Is it European or African?" And they were like, "Oh my God, we are not aware that we create films in the European market, that everyone can watch it. So global market." But yes, so the goal of the campaign is bigger than your participation in the challenge. At the end, there are over 60,000 European films on the platform that people all over Europe put it during the challenge, only because they were exposed on those 10 weeks on different promotional campaigns on social media. So there were different contents, from recommendations of film from influencers, as Mariana mentioned, not only filmmakers, there were ambassadors that were making recommendations, famous people that are making recommendations, to interviews with directors, to information about the festivals, story quizzes for answering and questions and fun facts about films and festival, etc., etc. So, of course, we had to make so many online and offline content. We organized screenings, film and beer, film and cocktails events, Spanish film nights, Polish week of film, etc., etc., which actually engaged the people in events, but everything was created on social media. So what we need to think, and what's the question that we need to address or answer, is should we talk about engagement from technology or engagement from learning? Technologies for learning and learning about technologies. They're all different things that we need to think about. Regarding the social media, it's driving or diminishing civic engagement. We are exposed on fake news, or disinformation. Are those things simply demotivate us and the engagement and our engagement on social media? But we also need to talk about cross-sectoral collaboration for innovation. Cross-sectoral leaders. Can people from cultural sphere advocate for important social issues? Or can youth from the gaming industry address environmental problems? Can they raise and make influence and make change? So yes, there are a lot of open questions that we are exposed and we need to consider, and especially when we want to create a tool or a campaign, or we want to expose the public to different topics that we personally or our organization, group, community is interested in. So I want to finish here. You will receive the presentations and everything and the questions, so you can think about, or we can talk in the Q&A session. But I want to give you a task. It will be a joint task, because you will require something to take and read from the Mariana presentation and something from mine presentation. So it's a simple one-pager task. So you're a farmer and you're living in a nice village, small one, but nice one, with a very nice community of people that are doing different jobs and different things, whatever you can imagine. And you have Alma. Alma is your cow. It's your golden survival ticket for an existing in your village. So together you need to provide enough for decent life. So I want you to be creative and to imagine and write as many social, financial, sustainable ideas that you and Alma can engage together in your community, and write one-pager. You can join in a group if you know someone, or you can join now. you should think out of the box and read the questions from this presentation and follow the steps in the Mariana's presentation. So whatever you want to survive, you need to engage with your community. So you need to inform your community, you need to expose on the topics what you and Alma can do to survive. So think about not only about financial issues, how you're going to buy food and what Alma can do, but also think about how Alma can contribute to the community, who and how, which target groups can be engaged, what kind of events you can do with Alma, etc., etc. So you can be recognized in your community, you can be famous. This is not a case like, this is an existing case. So maybe the name Alma is fiction, but there are a lot of cases where on social media nowadays, you can see people having even their pets or their animals that are very popular and actually sharing not just interesting content, but also sharing tips, advocating for something, etc., etc. So be creative, write one pager, send it to the email from which you are receiving information about the program. Maybe you can send it in the next 10 days. It's until we are actually having these modules, and we can catch up some of your interesting stories. Maybe we will publish them, and this is the first step till your participation to TISM. So
I'm super curious to read.
Me too. We did it with some other program previously, and we received so many crazy things, not just only for campaigning, but so many content crazy things about what you can do and how Alma can bring your life to a next level. But yes, be creative. This is not obligatory. This is a task for those who want to receive extra points for TISM. The media school in Thessaloniki, I think that last week on Wednesday you receive information is from 15 to 20 of July, and 10 of you will have opportunity to go, and everything will be covered. So this is the first of the tasks that can give you extra points to go to Thessaloniki. It's amazing school. I was last year. It's not only a media school, but it's full with great supportive content, amazing participants, great panelists. It's something that you really wanted to participate. And yes, be creative with Alma. About TISM, you will receive an email registration form. So because we don't have a lot of time, we will have two modules per week, and the school is very soon. So you will need to register, to apply, and all the activities extra that you will participate will give you extra points to be selected to go to TISM in July. So I will stop here. You have my contacts. If you want to contact me, you can find Blink on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram. I wanted to show you videos, but I will skip it. You can see the European Film Challenge. You can see Zdrava Zagotova. You can see M Community by yourself. I don't want to use the time here. But let's see if there are any questions. So yes, Christian says that he used the application in Bitola. Yes, Bitola was the last municipality that was joining. Now there are new 3 municipalities that will join in September. And the goal is to make decent income. Yes, decent income, but also your place in the community, recognition in the community, engagement in the community, participation in what you and Alma are. Maybe you have some goal or some mission or some vision and impact that you want to make in the community, and how those other community members can join you. So whatever you do, there is no wrong, because Alma is yours. Don't sell it. That's the most important thing. If you sell it, you can do anything. You can't do anything. So the only thing that
the only thing is to brainstorm with Alma. Oh, the
yes.
only.
Yes. Is there someone who has a question?
Yes, can I ask something?
Yes.
Actually, I want to ask Miss Mariana because I want to know if there's something similar like M community in Greece.
Like?
Do you know?
Like what?
Do we have any similar apps like M community in Greece?
I have no idea. If I remember correct, there was an app that was about to be launched in Thessaloniki, in municipality in Thessaloniki, Greece. But to be honest, I don't remember something that gained so much exposure in order to be, well known.
Yeah, sure. Okay, thank you.
But we can make it. That's another project. Maybe next year we can make it.
The right people and the right team now.
Yes. So we actually what's good for M community is that it's developed on a way that can be very easy translated and adapt to any municipality, any local government, wherever. So if there is a project in Greece that we can apply and give the M community application to municipalities there, we are very willing to do it. So yes, if you're interested, maybe we should try. Maybe we should start from the next month to find someone interested. Yes, we can send.
Yes, the deadlines and.
When you will receive, regarding this task, let's do till next Friday. So whoever wants to participate and want to do something about one pager with Alma, you and Alma, let's send it till next Friday. But for the registration of the TISM, the official one that you need to fulfill, you will receive an email with guidelines and all logistic information, what's covered and where, till when you can submit the application on email. So don't worry. And it will be sent on Monday. Any other question before we close this Friday session? Or any comment? It doesn't need to be a question. If someone has something interesting that was working or participating or campaign that was impressed. Okay, if not, maybe we can close this module right on time. It's exactly 6:30 in Skopje and 7:30 in Thessaloniki. So yes, guys, thank you very much for participating on Friday. And I hope we will, you will receive certificates at the end. Everyone who participated will receive a digital certificate. It will be sent to you on your email addresses with your name and everything. Before you can check before receiving, is it correct written, everything. So don't worry. There are more questions. Sorry. Okay. So the certificates will be for the whole program. It will be not only session by session. So you will receive for the whole training program certificate for the participation on your emails. So thank you once again. Thank you, Mariana, for all the tips about the social media campaigns and such a great campaigns that some of them probably never saw. Keep in touch.
I will share the presentation. Feel free to contact me, either me or Zorica, for any question you have. And I look forward to reading your strategy with Alma.
Yes, Thank you, everyone. Bye, and have a nice weekend.
Bye.